And
Let's
welcome back
go.
to the Tuned In podcast.
We're back, boys. 2-week hiatus. I know you missed us.
I know. It's been a very lax Jazz end of season, so maybe missing a week ain't the worst.
Yeah.
Right? But here we are.
Didn't miss much, I guess.
Yes, and the season's basically over.
Yeah.
Feels like it's gone by pretty fast to me.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, it's been just a really up and down season, but I'm excited to go over it. We got some exciting things we're going to talk about today in our episode. Of course, we'll go over past couple weeks' games, just a general review. We'll pick, I guess, our final player of the week of the season. Well, I don't know. It's one game. I don't know. We'll decide. But possibly our last one of the season. We'll predict our last game. We'll go over some Jazz news, talk about where we're at, how the season's been. And then we'll talk about some NBA news, local sports, including our very own Utah Mammoth, who are in the playoffs. We'll talk about that in this episode.
Make sure to follow us on all the podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube. We're on all of those. And make sure to give us a good rating. As the season's closing, don't forget, we'll be here throughout the whole off season. We'll talk about the draft a lot, and free agency, and even NBA playoffs. We'll catch those. So make sure to check us out throughout the off season.
This is episode 101 of Tuned In Jazz.
Well, we have quite a few games in the past week. Lots of losses.
Yep.
We'd say.
We did what we were supposed to.
We so did. And I don't know how many losses that is in a row. I think, 3, 6, 9, 10 losses in a row.
Wow.
End off the season. We definitely did what we were supposed to do.
Yeah, that's so crazy. I think there was a lot of talk about, we were talking a little bit about this Grizzlies game that was just a tanking masterpiece for Bull. What did Windhorse call it? I can't remember.
Yeah, basically that.
Was it a tanking masterpiece? Yeah. Both
guess
teams,
we lost the tanking masterpiece
I
to
guess
the Grizzlies.
so, for some reason. They only had 6 players play. I think we only had 7. We both had like 8 or 9 guys out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, both teams needed the loss. I think Jazz are still in a good spot even though we won, but just... Yeah, I'm ready for the season to be over, I think.
I know. It's just weird how, like, you could have a whole month of basketball not really be interesting. You know? I think the most interesting thing in the last 2 months is that Ace, Bailey, and Cody Williams have been pretty good. But other than that, I don't know. We've just got a lot of players. We don't know if they'll be on the team next year. But I guess there are a couple guys that we signed to, like, 2-year deals. Basma Bang. Which, I like it. I think he could maybe fit into like a Chris Dunn role if he can shoot the ball, you know.
Yeah, I even like Kennedy Chandler. I feel like he's had some really good games. Like, a game one a couple nights ago that was like 24 points, like pretty efficient shooting. Blake Hinson's had some good games late down the stretch this season. It's like, man, some of these guys are fighting for their careers. It's pretty awesome, actually.
And some triple doubles.
Yeah.
I mean, since Carlos Boozer, it's been Jordan Clarkson, Yusuf Nurkic like 3 or 4 times, right, this year.
Yeah.
And now John Conchar.
John Conchar has 2, and then Mbezman Bang had one the other night, too.
It's crazy that they had it in the same game, too, right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
They said, I saw a tweet that said that was the first time in NBA history that 2 players coming off the bench had triple-doubles in the same game.
That's insane.
But yeah, pretty wild down the stretch, I guess.
I do like, we talk about it throughout the season. We need some more defensive intensity on this team. Seems like these guys understand that right now. And John Conchar and Besma Bang, they're showing like, hey, if you need that on the Jazz next year, we can try and be defensive guys.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that being said, we've been giving up like 130 plus points like every game, so great. maybe it's looking too deep into it, but
yeah, this team. I'm excited for next year. I think we're ready to go next year. We're gonna I mean, we'll see what happens with the draft. Hopefully we get lucky, but even with that, we could probably pick up another role player or two in the off season and get ready to go. So,
yep, and then I guess we can award our final player of the week.
Yeah,
which is pretty insane to say. We've been going for a long time.
Yeah, we have. Well, I think I was tempted. It was like a toss-up for me kind of between Mbez and Bang. I thought about giving it to him because of the triple-double. I think he's been playing really well. But I think I got to give it to John Conchar. Having two triple-doubles. Just overall pretty efficient guy. He's proven to be a really good defender. Not like a great scorer, but I mean, he plays a role and he knows how to do it, so I think he deserves it. I think that's his first one, right?
Yep, his first and only.
Yep.
So to kind of wrap this player of the week up, we'll maybe look at it later too, but Keontae with 7, Ace with 3, and then you've got a whole ton of guys with 1. But John Concho joining that group.
Yeah, lots of parity this season. I mean, Keontae was I guess we'll talk about it later. Keontae was stretches early in the season where he just was the best player on the floor, so it doesn't surprise me. But everybody else just kind of had their moment, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, like Yusuf Nurkic had 1 when he was putting up numbers.
Yeah.
Bryce Sensabaugh managed to get 1. Isaiah Collier even had a pretty great week once.
Lowry probably deserved more. We always sleep on him, I feel like.
Yeah, Lowry had 1, but could have had more.
Totally, yeah.
Even Jaren Jackson had 1, which was like the only week that he actually played.
The 2 games he played, yeah.
So if he actually played, he probably would have had another 1.
Yeah.
And Cody Williams, too. He got 1.
Yep.
Even though I didn't think that would be possible, he managed to get 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Pretty excited. We got 1 game left. Gonna play the Lakers. Do you think this is LeBron's last regular season game?
I don't think so, but I'd say there's like a 30% chance he retires. So it could be, but I think he'll be back next year.
I think it's definitely his last regular season game in LA, for sure.
Ooh.
I'd be surprised to bring him back. Well, if he wants to come back, seems like there's... Anyways. But Jazz play him on Sunday, final game of the season. What do you think? Win or loss?
Well, maybe you could speak more than me because you went out to LA for the other time the Jazz went there for playing the Lakers. The Lakers care about winning right now. They're trying to lock up that 3 seed, and so
it's true.
I don't think there's any chance the Jazz lose this. So I'm gonna say Lakers win by 20.
Yeah, I think so too.
Just don't overthink it.
Yeah, I mean, Austin Reeves and Luka are out, but they still got LeBron James. Overall, we also don't have anybody on our roster that's a normal guy on our roster, so I say Lakers win by 12. Also, the Jazz are in a tight race, too, looking at a little bit ahead in our tankathon. Lakers are fighting for seeding, but Jazz kind of are, too. We're currently still tied with Sacramento, so we really need to lose. I don't know who Sacramento plays, but we really got to keep up on that. So I think I saw something that said with us being in the 5th place in the lottery, we're at like a 99.6% chance to keep our pick. But if we're 4th, then we're 99.7 or 8. I can't remember. It's a coin flip with Sacramento. So
Sacramento plays the Trailblazers on the road.
They'll probably lose too.
Yeah, probably going to be a loss for them, but you never know. The Trailblazers been up and down.
That's true, yeah.
So, pretty good stuff. If you look at I don't even know if we really need to do this, but if you look at the injury report, I don't know. It's
everybody.
Basically everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be out, so.
Yeah, we'll just get this season over with.
Yep.
I think there's a lot of excitement for next season. I will have plenty of time in the off season to talk about that, but I just think we're like primed and ready to go next year when we get all of our guys quote unquote healthy.
Yeah, I mean you're gonna have big 3 of Keontae, Lowry, and Jaren Jackson Jr.
Walker Kessler
can slide right back in as long as we bring him back.
Yep.
Bryce Sensabaugh's a great piece. Ace Bailey's shown that he's a real NBA player that deserves probably be a starter.
Yeah.
He got some guy that will draft in the lottery. assuming that 0.6% chance doesn't happen for the Thunder. So, just good stuff, right?
Yeah, totally. I think there's a lot of young guys, too, that showed some stuff this year. I mean, like, you know, Kyle Filipowski, Cody Williams, we'll see what happens in the offseason with those guys, but they're definitely role pieces that could be like a 8 or 9 guy in the rotation when we're ready to compete, so that'll be exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that takes us to our superlatives for the year. If you don't remember, at the very beginning of the season, we gave us some Jazz superlatives and how we thought it would go, what roles player would play this year. So I guess we'll review that, starting with our team MVP. I can't remember. I picked Ace Bailey. Who did you pick? I can't remember.
Larry Markkinen.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I think Keontae probably deserves team MVP. I don't know if that's
I agree.
clear to you, but that's probably what I would say.
Absolutely. I think he was clearly our best player this year. Probably made the best argument to be an all-star.
Yeah.
He was obviously just out.
Him and Markkinen, if they played, Markkinen didn't play enough.
Yeah.
I'd say.
So, yeah, definitely.
Maybe just our next one is our top 3 scorers for the year. Looking back, I'm going to fact check this, but I'm pretty sure I might have it right. If it's just per game. I got Markkinen, Ace Bailey, and Keontae.
Yeah, I had that too.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
So, just trying to look at the stats on Basketball Reference. It looks like technically Jaren Jackson Jr. had more than Ace Bailey.
Interesting.
And Walker Kessler, but I don't know if we count those just because,
didn't
really play. But it was actually... And Kennedy Chandler somehow ends up with averaging 15 points, but he only started 2 games. So it looks like technically, like, I guess games played, it's Bryce Sensabaugh, that's that third guy.
Interesting.
But it's only by 1 more point than Ace. He had 15 and Ace had 14. So really it was Keontae and Lowry.
Yeah.
So not a bad prediction for us, I'd say.
Yeah, those are ones where it's like, too, those guys where it's like, yeah, they averaged a lot per game, but like it's almost better to score more points. Like, as far as totals, I'm sure we picked the right guys. Maybe not Lowry.
It looks like Bryce Sensabaugh's still third
in totals,
but Ace is like 100 behind him.
Oh, okay.
So
interesting. Our rebounder, I had Walker Kessler. I'm assuming you had the same. Was it?
Yes. Because if he was healthy, that was. I think at the beginning of the season, we knew that was a lock,
I'm guessing, I haven't looked, but I'm guessing it's probably Yusuf Nurkic, right? Or Filipowski, maybe?
Yeah, it's Filipowski, but Yusuf Nurkic would have won it if he played all year. Because Filipowski's got 550, Nurkic just got 420 in way less games. So Filipowski takes that just for being on the floor, really.
Yeah, pretty much.
He's the only one that stayed out there.
The only big on our roster, it felt like at times, especially late down the season.
Yeah, shout out to Kyle Filipowski, top rebounder of the year. Yeah. Top assister.
Yeah, I had
Any prediction? I had Isaiah, and it looks like it is Isaiah.
Yeah,
Keontae is second place. Isaiah had 420, Keontae had 330.
It's crazy at the beginning of the season, I feel like we were talking about how would Isaiah Collier even be in the rotation at the end of the year with like Walter Clayton, just like how excited.
Yeah, we thought he'd be.
Everyone was, and I still think that if he had stayed, that might have still been a conversation. But like Isaiah just proved why everybody was underrating him for sure, based off what he did last year too.
Yeah, interestingly enough, our third and fourth assisters are Kyle Filipowski and Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah.
Not much to say, just kind of interesting, but it's cool to me. Isaiah Collier, he only started 19 games.
Oh, wow.
He played in 59, and he still got more assists, so it seemed like it didn't matter that he came off the bench. He still got a lot of assists.
Yeah, totally. Our next one that's a little bit harder to quantify, I guess, but best defender, I had Walker Kessler / Taylor Hendricks. Probably would be the truth. I don't really know. I can't think. I guess Jaren Jackson's a great defender. Not really for us this year, but
Yeah, he did play pretty well on the Grizzlies, right?
Yeah, I thought Cody Williams had some pretty good defensive games.
Ace Bailey.
Ace really did some great stuff.
He really improved defensively, but maybe not the entirety of the year.
Yeah, totally. He's kind of learning the ropes still, but I think he's a great defender, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's hard to know who to give it to.
Yeah.
Maybe Yusuf Nurkic in the time that he played.
Overall, just not a great defensive season.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone really truly deserves that.
Yeah. Biggest improvement? I can't remember who. I had Cody Williams. Who did you have?
I had Taylor Hendricks.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting. I guess he did. I would say he improved, even though we traded him.
For sure.
But I don't think he improved more than Cody Williams, which is, well,
yeah,
to an extent. Maybe not that different, but Cody Williams looks a little better than I thought he would.
Stretches. I would say I'd make an argument for biggest improvement also being Keontae.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely.
I'm guessing he probably won't be eligible with games, but I think he could make a really good argument for most improved player in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing he's not at 65 games. I haven't looked. But
he's at 54, so just short.
Yeah, he won't be there.
But he went from 17 points a game to 23.
Yeah, incredible.
Very good, and he got more efficient from the field.
Yeah, shooting
which was always his struggle.
Absolutely, better leader.
Mm-hmm.
You see him talking on the bench. Just overall a really great improvement for him.
And then takes us to best shooter. That one we kind of can quantify.
Yeah, I had Walter Clayton.
With efficiency. Walter Clayton, I had Bryce Sensabaugh.
Okay.
If you just look at effective field goal percentage, it's actually maybe Blake Hinson.
Yeah, he's a pretty good shooter.
Bryce Sensabaugh has, out of the true starters on this team,
I see Mo Bamba on there.
He's pretty good. Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, those centers, they always shoot well. So.
Yeah, near the rim, yeah.
I guess 3-point shooting wise, it looks like out of the guys that really played is Svi, Mikhailuk, Keontae, and Bryce.
Yeah. I forgot about Svi. Yeah. Svi did shoot pretty good this year, even though I was frustrated that he was playing early in the season.
So honestly, if I did have to give it to someone, I know you hate this, but I think it should be Svi.
Totally, I agree.
Just, he shot it really well, and then maybe a second guy would be Bryce or Keontae, because they had pretty solid seasons too, but I think Svi was clearly the best.
Interestingly enough, I forgot that I did this because I picked Ace as my MVP, but best rookie, I put Walter Clayton. I don't remember why I did that.
Maybe just trying to show love to multiple people.
I feel like at that time it felt like maybe Walter Clayton was more NBA ready, but Ace was going to be better in the long run,
Potential-wise, he's the MVP.
By the end of the season, he would be a better player, which I think's the truth. I mean, I don't really know if we could give best rookie to anybody else other than Ace. John Tonje didn't stick around.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's Ace, and it's you could say Cody is still a rookie mold.
Yeah,
but I'd still say Ace is clearly the best.
I guess we have a lot of these guys that are 10 days or 2 years right now, where technically rookies. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, they're young, right? They're all young.
Things, yeah.
So I like that. I think the real difference, we didn't see Keontae coming, which I don't think very many people did at the time.
No.
And we definitely thought Walker Kessler would play the whole year and we'd have a better defensive team. That was not the case either,
Nope.
So I think those were the biggest surprises. One good, one not,
Yeah. Totally.
And then I think our last thing, starting lineup at the / 6-man at the end of the season.
Man.
This is not right, but I want to hear what you have.
I mean, I guess, so obviously we didn't know we'd get Jaren Jackson Jr. I think we probably had a similar lineup, I don't remember, but mine was George, Keontae, Ace, Lowry, Flip, and Walker. And I mean, in reality, I think that's pretty accurate if everybody's healthy, other than switch and Flip for Jaren Jackson. That's probably what my lineup would be at the end of the season.
I'm exposing myself and saying I had Collier starting over Keontae at the beginning of the season.
I don't think it's a bad take. We didn't know
that was kind of what we thought it was at the beginning of the year. So give me a little bit of slack on that.
Yeah, I respect
But of course now I'd have Keontae in the starting lineup.
Yeah, totally.
I also had Bryce Sensabaugh in there instead of Filipowski.
Oh, that's right.
Just to kind of make it a little smaller.
What do you think it would be? You think it would be Bryce now still, or you think?
I think it'd be Jaren instead of Bryce. So Keontae, Ace, Lowry, Jaren, Kessler.
Yeah, I agree.
So
that's what it would. I think that's what our. I don't know. That one's a hard one because obviously none of those guys are started except Ace, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's kind of a tough one. But Jazz superlatives. I guess that takes us to though. Been kind of a really up and down season.
Yeah, it's been a long one.
Yeah, it has.
Long and short at the same time. Long because there's not a lot of excitement to be had when you're tanking, but short because if you don't pay attention, you see like 5 games go by. You know, it's kind of fast in that way.
But I guess let's start with some of our highs. I think we've talked about a lot of lows, but what do you think?
Get some positive out there.
Yeah, what are some moments this season that you just thought were some of our highs?
Well, I'll just talk about a couple things we just mentioned with superlatives anyways, just to get them out of the way. I think Keontae's breakout.
Totally.
Him jumping up to 23 points per game, like all-star level. He hit a couple pretty tough shots in the clutch.
Yeah.
Can't remember like the teams we were playing, but he had like a couple game-winning shots in the middle of the season that were electric. We were hyped on the pod after those.
Yeah.
And he was putting up 30, 5 and 5, like it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like we were talking about him winning Player of the Week for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
At one point during the season. So I don't know. I think that was a huge high for me. Probably of anything, Keontae's breakout's the highest high for me.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think just to kind of piggyback off that a little bit, we beat some great teams earlier in the season. We beat the Spurs.
Yeah,
we beat the Pistons, who are going to be the number 1 seed in the East.
I think that was a Keontae shot against the Pistons.
Yeah. I mean, we beat some... I just think the Jazz showed some flashes that we could be a really great team with the core we're building. So I think that's just like overall kind of a high, like, you know, just exciting, the potential. I think another high for me, though, big game hunting finally came to pass.
Oh, yeah. We're waiting like 2 years for it, but here it is.
I just feel like that was just a really, like, looking back, even just, what was it, 2 months ago at that time, like, how exciting that felt. We're like, oh my gosh, the Jazz are actually, like, we can see an end of the tunnel to this tank. Like, this isn't forever. We got guys coming in who are going to help us, so I think it's pretty exciting.
I love it. And then I think just another breakout, just Ace and Cody.
Yeah.
I know this is the part of the season where you wonder if like the stats guys put up really, really matter. But they both had 30-point games and both have looked pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those breakouts, that's been carrying the last month or two of Jazz basketball for basically the only interesting thing to me is really that.
Yeah, totally. I think going to the lows, unless you have any other highs.
I do. I guess trading for Jaren Jackson, I had as a high as well. And then just Nurkic's triple doubles. I thought that was a high. It's kind of a weird high, though.
Oh, yeah. That was kind of fun, yeah.
So, but let's take it to the lows.
I think my biggest low was the conversations about the Jazz around tanking. I think it was pretty unfair that the Jazz were kind of made the poster for tanking, even though it's not really our MO other than the last, 4 seasons. And, I mean, the Jazz did have to tank pretty hard given how, good we started, I guess. But, I mean, even Draymond, I saw said it the other day in a press conference, why have only 2 teams been fined for tanking? Because it's there's 12 teams doing it right now. pretty blatantly.
Yep.
So I think that's definitely a big low that the Jazz just were kind of felt like we were singled out a little bit. The whole conversation was about the Jazz ethically tanking or unethically tanking. I think that was pretty lame.
I agree. I also put post All-Star tanking.
Yeah.
I think before All-Star it was just because we were bad.
Yeah, for sure.
And then post All-Star it was for real tanking.
Yeah.
I think the real thing that kind of stunk with that is just, one, like you said, the media attention that we got. And 2, it's not as fun to watch.
No.
It's you come off those games and you're like, yeah, I guess guess we lost this one by 30, but I don't know. It's just hard to like have fan interest in that,
Yeah.
Just not seeing the level of play that we're used to seeing here in Utah. It's kind of hard. And then I feel like those casual fans kind of forget about the Jazz. So I think that's why I'm excited for next year. I know we've got a competitive team. We should double our win count.
Yeah. I see a lot of that conversation on social media where it's like, once the Jazz are healthy, they're going to be dangerous. But it's like, yeah, like, no, we haven't backed it up yet, so nobody believes us. But we're like, we promise we got a good team.
Yeah, stay with us for next year, guys. Come on.
We're ready.
Yeah.
So that'll be exciting.
Yeah, and I think another thing with the tanking is the injuries, too.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the injuries the Jazz have had are legit. But, man, we had a lot of injuries. We had Lowry miss like half the season. We had Keontae go down with a season-ending injury, maybe. It remains to be seen if it was really season-ending.
Yeah.
We had Nurkic go out for the whole year. We had Ace miss certain parts of the year. Just really everyone on this team missing. And Jaren Jackson, he only played like a week.
Yeah.
So we didn't really get to see him really play. So I think injuries kind of stunk for me.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
That being said, if we end up getting AJ or Darren Peterson, I am totally happy with all those injuries.
Absolutely.
You just got to take the hit right now.
It'll all be worth it. And I even look at, like, I keep having to remind myself what Danny Ainge has built. I know technically he's not, like, the guy right now, but you look at that Celtics team, just like how the longevity of, like, the base that he built there with Tatum and Brown and, like, just, like, because they kind of had similar setup where they tanked a little bit, gathered a bunch of picks, and they finally worked out with those two guys. So
they swindled the Nets.
Yep, absolutely.
Trading away their players.
So I don't know if the Minnesota-Cleveland picks ever really benefited us much, but at least our picks have allowed us to get some really good guys. So it's exciting.
Well, it's crazy to think the season's over, but here we are.
It is.
And I guess our final win total,
assuming we lose tonight, is going to be...
Assuming 22-60.
Yeah.
Be it.
Worst in the West.
Let's go.
Did it. Yeah, pretty bad. Worst record this season, Washington, 17. Overall.
Last season, we had 17.
Yeah.
So, it's crazy to think that we made like a 5-game jump from last year in wins. So
totally.
The NBA should be happy about that, right? We were better this year than last year.
Exactly. Yeah, we're making improvements. I don't know why they're finding us. But.
Yeah, and then 2 years ago we had 31 wins. So it's like, it's really been like 3 years in a row we've been like bad.
Yeah.
Maybe 4.
Totally.
But next year I think we could totally double, get 44 wins.
I could see it. I could see us even pushing closer to 50, honestly. We're that good.
If we can put it all together, get all the guys gelling.
Yeah.
And stuff like
totally.
that.
I think, even you look at Detroit, not last year, but the year before, one of the worst teams, I'd argue, in NBA history. Like, they had that losing streak that was, like, getting close to record numbers. And then the next year, they win a first-round playoff. I think they were, like, the 3rd seed in the East. Like,
yeah.
Which in the East is much easier than the West, for sure. I'll acknowledge that. But, like, I don't think a huge jump is out of the question here for the Jazz.
Yeah, and we already had a huge jump from Keontae. If he just keeps that up. I think the reason the Pistons had such a big jump is because of Cade Cunningham and Duran and some of their young players taking a jump.
Absolutely.
We've got a lot of young players that could do the same thing.
Yep.
We're bringing in Jaren Jackson. We could totally sign a couple veterans, fill out the rotation. I think we'll be set.
Jazz got some money to spend. If there's like, obviously we've talked a lot about like guys we could draft. We'll talk about that in the off season. But like, if there was one like type of role player that you could add to like shore up our rotation, like what kind of player would you want to get?
I think we need our Royce O'Neal. We need our point of attack, punchy in the face defender, our LeBron stopper. At this point, maybe our Luka stopper.
Yeah.
We need that guy. I think I think we could maybe get that in the draft. We could maybe get that from Ace if he bulks up a little bit.
Yeah.
Gets better on the defensive side. But yeah, I think we really just need that big, that intimidating defender you don't want to go up against. You know it's going to be annoying to play against.
Totally.
Need our Royce O'Neal. What I don't know what you say we need.
I could agree with that. I'd say that maybe another guy that I might want to see is kind of like how would I describe him? Like a Jordan Clarkson, maybe. Like just an off the bench, just like energy guy that can still get buckets off the bench, because it's like who's going to score in the non-Lowry Keontae minutes, right? Like we need a guy that can just come in and
Bryce Sensabaugh could be that.
Keep the scoring going. Yeah, and maybe we already have that on our roster, but I think you could bring more guys like that in, though. I think it's easier said than done, but that would be probably who I would try to find.
I like it. Well, I guess we could talk a little bit about the NBA.
Yeah,
we got some playoffs happening. I guess it won't include the Jazz, but still want to watch some playoffs. You know,
I'm excited. I think
the best part of the NBA.
Really good.
Finally get past all the boring regular season, get to the playoffs.
Yeah, seeding's not quite set yet, but it's pretty close. Is there any like early matchups that you're excited about? Teams you think are gonna do well?
I think if Nuggets and Timberwolves play, that's always going to be a good series. They've had a lot of history. Seems like the Nuggets have more momentum right now, so I'd probably lean more towards them. And then maybe in the East,
good matchups.
There's some good matchups. Probably, I'd say more in the second round is what I'd be looking for. Like, I'd be excited to see Cavs Pistons.
Yeah.
Like, see if the Pistons are for real, because
we
know the Cavs are that team.
Matchup for them.
Yeah, Hawks have been on a heater. I feel like the Cavs have been a little underrated throughout the year, so I'd still go with the Cavs.
Yeah.
But I think you've got three between Pistons, Knicks, and Celtics. I think I could see any of those teams going to the finals. So I feel like those later rounds in the East will be probably the most interesting for me.
Yeah, that Knicks Celtics one will be so interesting if it ends up being that, because like Knicks have just been doing it all season. Celtics are like just kind of getting Tatum back and are trying to figure out again like how to play with them together, which I know they've done at a high level before, but you know it's always a tough.
They've been doing a lot of winning without Tatum too, so they've just got a great team.
Absolutely, they do.
Any in the West that you're looking at?
Yeah, I really think that second round of, either Timberwolves or Nuggets against the Spurs, I think will be. I think the Spurs are a great team, but they're also still very young, and I'm not quite sure if they're ready to make a deep run yet. I could regret saying that later, but I don't know. That would just be interesting. I don't think the Lakers or Rockets are going to beat the Thunder.
I just don't know if the Spurs, because we've seen Wemby already get hurt at the end of the year. I don't know if the Spurs, if Wemby will be able to stay healthy throughout the whole playoffs. If he can stay healthy, I think they could totally make a finals run. But the guy only plays like 30 minutes or less a game. He's really struggling to stay out there on the floor. But if he could play like more than 30 minutes a game throughout the whole playoffs, I could see them making a run. I just don't know if that's going to be the case. You know?
Well, and that means too they're probably going to have to sweep some. Like, you can't go 7 games every series and expect, that. Like, if you get to Game 7, I think you're going to be in a bad spot with Wemby and his health.
Yeah, especially if you're playing the Thunder on the road.
Yeah, absolutely. Or you got Jokic against you in the second round. Like, I think that would be bad for them. So
I think Jokic, he doesn't mind Wemby. He bodies him.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw a couple weeks ago, they had that was it overtime or double overtime? Anyways, but Jokic like hit the fadeaway over Wemby, which is crazy.
Wow. Yeah, that was insane.
So yeah, really exciting. I'm excited for the playoffs. I think it's gonna be really good. I don't think any of these play-in teams either side. I don't think they're quite set, but I'm not really that worried about any of these teams. Clippers and Warriors, of course.
Yeah,
It's old teams.
I don't like the play-in teams to go far. I think the 1 and 2 seeds are just too good. They're gonna take care of business.
Absolutely. Totally agree. Well, speaking of playoffs, Utah Mammoth, let's
go. We got playoffs in Utah one way or another, right?
That's right. We went to Mammoth game this past week. Played the Oilers. Really exciting game. What were you thinking of the game?
That's the best hockey game I've been to.
Hype, yeah.
It was so good. I've been to, I think this was my 4th game.
Okay.
And previously they'd won one of the games I'd been to and lost 2 of them. So now I've got a 50% win rate when I
Let's go.
But just 11 goals were scored. We got an overtime win against the best player in the league on the Oilers.
Yep.
Just a really exciting game. We got the Mammoth rolling around on the ice. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing is the atmosphere.
Absolutely.
Like I'm excited for next year if we can get this Jazz team up. That atmosphere at the Delta Center is really good.
Yeah, that's hype.
And we know now that we have playoff hockey, that's gonna continue for the Mammoth. People are gonna come and they're gonna be loud and show out. So I don't know. I think that game, best hockey game I've been to. Great result for the Mammoth. Just all great things.
Yeah, locked up our spot. I think we're pretty much, I don't want to jinx it, but we're pretty much locked into that first wild card spot. I think we're 5 points ahead of the Kings, which, they could swing that, but, Mammoth also have a pretty easy schedule remaining, so it helps that we won our last 5 games in a row, which is pretty exciting. Mm-hmm. And we just have some we just have so much speed out on the ice, too. We're very physical. There's times when I feel like our fundamentals slip a little. We just let games slip away. Or even in that game we were at, they, went down 3-1, and it was not great. But
we let a guy score, in 10 seconds.
Yep.
I think
right after we scored. Yeah.
McDavid went through, 3 of our defenders.
Yeah, McDavid's really nice.
Yeah, he's great.
He's very good.
Yeah, I think we might end up playing the Oilers in the first round. I think if it ended today, that'd be the case.
Yeah.
So we're hoping. I'm hoping to play somebody else, but I don't know. I don't know how it'll go.
Yeah, I think even just watching the last, because I watched that Nashville Predators game, the one that we needed to win the other night, kind of felt like playoff hockey. I mean, so did the Oilers game. And if that's what this feels like. I'm just really excited for what playoff hockey's going to feel like. Even just playoffs in general. We haven't been there in Utah in a while, so.
Yeah, this podcast might low-key turn into a hockey podcast.
Yeah,
if the
Mammoth
start playing their playoff games.
Yeah, tuned in Mammoth. Let's do it. Mm-hmm. March Madness is over. How did your bracket fare in the end?
Not great.
Yeah, I mean,
but probably just in part because Arizona didn't win at all.
Yeah, same.
But they surely got close.
Michigan, they were a good team.
Yeah,
they beat every team they played by double digits.
Yeah, they're giving off UConn 2 years ago vibes.
Yeah, they're back to back, or their second one back to back. Yeah.
That shot at UConn against Duke was pretty insane.
Did
you watch that one?
That was really awesome.
That was crazy.
I really was rooting for UConn. I know people hate on Dan Hurley. I kind of like the guy. I don't know why. I just think he's really good for the game to have personalities like that. But yeah, they weren't a match for Michigan. Michigan's just got so much size, and
it's just that the rebounding, the interior defense. Mm-hmm. It's dominant. That makes me hope that Kevin Young brings in some 7-footers next year.
That's what I think. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, if you look at the Final Four, UConn had a really good big man. Arizona had a really good
Mo Krivas.
Michigan, of course. Illinois had some pretty good big guys, too.
They had some length all around.
Yeah. Tennessee had a lot of length. So I think if you're just wanting to go far in the tournament, you need some good...
Gotta get some good bigs.
Good bigs, and I think that's really what we were missing.
Yeah.
So hopefully we could get that guy from Kansas, but I don't know what he'll decide.
Flory Badunga. Yeah, I saw a stat. This is kind of interesting. Speaking of the transfer portal, 49% of the players with eligibility left hit the portal of all of college basketball.
Wow.
So almost exactly half the players are in the transfer portal, or were as of day one of the transfer portal. Pretty insane. Cougs also, I think, had 6 guys hit the portal, so we got like 3 guys on the roster right now.
Wow.
That's not great. Yeah, Colin Chandler, though, committed to the Cougs. I don't know
Oh,
if you saw
really?
that. He did, yep.
Let's go.
So that's exciting. Rob Wright hits the portal, even though he said like 2 weeks ago he was a Coug for the rest of his college career. So,
I mean, he said that when he's at Baylor too. So who knows?
there's some like theories out there that Rob Wright might just be testing his like value.
Yeah,
Maybe he's
NIL.
trying to get the Cougs to match it.
I guess who else hit the portal? Because I heard Kennard Davis did.
Yeah, Xavier Staten.
Staten did, but I'm pretty sure Staten sent like a message that he's probably gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah, he already committed to Oregon State.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Who else? Tyler Morris hit the portal. Makes sense. KJ Perry was kind of sad. He was that number 1 JUCO guy that we got to commit.
Mm-hmm.
Was technically on the roster, but redshirted. He hit the portal. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like Kozlowski's still on the roster. I'm trying to think who else. It's pretty sad. I don't think we've had any other commits other than Colin Chandler. It feels like it's been pretty slow.
Mm-hmm.
But we have been in the mix for Flory Badunga, which is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know for how much in the mix we are, but
we got Bruce Branch III.
Yeah, Bruce will be really nice.
So I think that could be a reason maybe we could get some other recruits.
I think a lot of people are really upset about everybody leaving. I kind of am too, but at the same time, I also feel like looking back at our roster last year, it was a pretty flawed roster.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me wonder if this will give Kevin Young an opportunity to like build a better roster, one that's more complete.
Yeah, and maybe try. I feel like we need to recruit some staples.
Absolutely.
So I don't know what would you say with Colin Chandler? Has he a senior already, or does he have any years left?
I think he's a junior.
So maybe he could be a multiple year guy. You know?
Yeah, totally.
I think just some staples on the team would be great.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I think if Kevin Young's ever going to find success, you have to have some, like, I feel like it took us all season to, like, get, for our players to finally, like, play well together. Mm-hmm. And you can't do that every season where you're, like, rebuilding every year, and then you have to wait until March until your team finally clicks, and then it's too late, you know? So we got to get some guys who are with each other for multiple years, but I don't know if that's possible.
I think Diamande entered the portal too, right?
Oh, that's the other guy.
That's the guy. And then I don't know, did Boop enter the portal?
Oh, he did. That's a good one. I'm glad.
Is he staying?
As of right now, he hasn't hit the portal. So
that's another guy we'll keep around. And
I really liked Diamande. I was hoping he would.
Diamande showed some flashes at the end of the year.
I don't blame him because he didn't really get a lot of playing time, but nice piece. I also think Rob Wright, I have mixed reviews on him. I feel like he's a really good point guard, but sometimes I just feel like he was very lazy defensively.
Yeah, I'd say so too.
To see who Kevin Young brings in. Only 1 commit so far. Overall, though, what are your thoughts on like overall health of college basketball, given all this crap that's going on?
Well, I think that there's enough attention on it that I know that I trust that they'll create a system that works better. Being said, the current system is flawed. It's probably too much transferring in both college basketball and football. And I think that they've started to attack some of the weird things of basketball with like guys coming from the NBA, from the G League, and from Europe and stuff like that. So it seems like I think that makes sense to me. Like the college basketball is supposed to be like guys that are actually going to college, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of these like adult men that are playing in there, it's just not really the league for them. I don't know.
I think, yeah, I mean, I agree with that. It's college athletics. I think, 95% of the players in college basketball, the only thing they're really going to get from this experience is a degree if they took it serious. Yeah. Because not all of them are going to make the NBA. In fact, a very small percentage will. And I mean, I just think, yeah, it's like, I don't know. I just think we're in a bad spot. The NCAA really has, like, they haven't nailed down this transfer window of, like, when it should be. I'm not really sure who decided that the portal was going to open the day after the national championship. And also, like, you know, even BYU, the semester's not over yet, you know. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure other colleges are the same. Like, why are you opening a transfer portal when these quote-unquote students are still doing their classes? Like,
yeah, that's fair.
And you're not in a rush. You could do it a month from now and you'd be just fine. Like, there's no reason that needs to be in April. Anyways, that's just kind of my rant, but I think the NCAA doesn't seem to have any clue what's going on.
Mm-hmm. And I think we talked about this forever ago because Calipari said something in a press conference.
Yeah.
They shouldn't allow unlimited transfers. There should be a reason for transferring, and then maybe you get one transfer for any reason and one for like a special reason, like a coach leaving or something like that, right?
Yeah, one, and then you have to sit a year the next one or something like that.
Yeah.
Pretty reasonable, I feel like. But, I mean, it's hard to blame some of these. Like Rob Wright, personally, I don't think he's going to play in the NBA.
No.
So, do I blame him for wanting to go to Kansas and making $4 million, which is allegedly what teams are offering him? No. I would also take the deal. But
yeah.
It does kind of stink that he's like making comments about wanting to stay at BYU and then leaving second time around at least. So.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting. Do you know when the transfer window closes? It's probably like a while.
Yeah, I think it's like a 2-week window or something.
Maybe look it up real quick.
I feel like it's been pretty slow moving so far. I haven't seen a lot of big commitments from guys. But
oh yeah, it looks like April 21st it'll close.
Oh, it's like
10 days away.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 weeks it'll be open,
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got some time. Cougs got to fill out their roster. But I do feel like we have a pretty good base. I think Mboop's a great piece. Bruce Branch will be great.
Colin Chandler will be good.
Chandler's a great piece,
so you've got at least a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
You just need to fill it in.
Gotta go get us that big man wherever he's at.
Yep.
I think the exciting thing, if there is one positive about the portal, you look at Michigan. Their best player, Yaxel Landeborg, played at UAB the year before.
Mm-hmm.
So BYU could go find their Yaxel Landeborg somewhere if he's not already on the roster. There's tons of mid-major players who dominate at the mid-majors or even D2 levels that could jump up and be very competitive Power 4 games. So if Coach Young can go find him.
Well, thank you for listening to this episode of the Tuned In Utah Jazz podcast. We're grateful for all you listeners sticking with us through this long Jazz season. Finally made it. We're excited for the draft, excited for NBA playoffs, excited for NHL playoffs. Make sure to stick with us through all of those. And follow us on all the podcast platforms, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, and we hope you take care.
Peace.